Yo, what's going on, Council? Welcome back for another One Piece reaction. The Voyage continues with episode 1129. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button in order to join the Council and become a part of the crew. Also, make sure you stay after the reaction for our weekly discussion, everybody. With all that being said, let's get into it. One Piece episode 1129, Kuma's Pass, Better Off Dead in this world. All right, finally the Kuma Backstory. Let's get it. Damn, it's crazy how this hockey just emanating from the island like this. Yeah, that's basically like treason, damn near, right? Against the world in their eyes. This motherfucker got laser eyes? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the hell? Oh, that's fucking crazy. Well, they didn't look like a laser. Or was that a blast of hockey? Is he shooting hockey out of his eyes? There you go, Frankie. Don't let that man touch your captain. And now he punched the Not name him in order. This man is a menace. Yeah. How many pounds does this man have? Well, he does have he is part spider zone, so is it like visible weld or something? The descendant of the clan that was I right? Let's think Buccaneer people. Oh, I wasn't right. Who the fuck are the Buccaneer people? I wasn't right. Who the fuck is this? This is a whole nother civilization next to the Lunarians. So now we got Lunarians and Buccaneers. Are they about to execute behind what? Okay, here's the backstory. So this was 47 years ago then. So this was fairly recent. Ish. Guess what they found out about him. Damn. Damn. Yeah, fuck the celestial dragons.
あと、お母さんは元気にしてる?
Yeah, he probably ain't even seen his mom.
母さんが死んだよ。
Oh my.
なあ、クマ。お前は強い。耐えて、生き延びろ。
なんで僕ももう死んだ方が。
解放の戦士が現れる。お前を助けにやってくる。
誰?
太陽の神、
Okay, so they knew about the story of the warrior liberation though.
バッカニアの家系に代々伝わる伝説の戦士の名だ。彼がいつかお前を自由な海へ。
So was Nika a Buccaneer?
連れ出してくれる。
本当?
どんどとっとどんどとっとどんどとっとどんどとっとどんどとっとどんどとっとどんどとっとどんどとっと。
Yeah, they finna pack him up. Damn.
うるさいえ。
Damn, just without a care in the world, man. Why is this so fucked up?
3年に一度の折り試し。先住民一層大会。
Okay, so a couple more years later. So it comes about 10, 11 now. God Valley. Are we about to get the God Valley incident? So that's what they were there for? Human hunt? I can't fucking stand the celestial dragons. Oh, it's Garland ass. Yeah, man, Kuma was one of the people that was hunting. Okay, and this is what we saw the first time. When he was running away, he was like, "Don't take me back, don't take me back." Damn. Okay, so that was on God Valley. And it was basically pulling this man back to his death. That's... I mean, they ain't had no choice, though. Yeah, that's what we saw. Yeah. Saturn was here during God Valley too, though. There go Ivanka. Okay, Buccaneers are relatives to the Giants. I figured. So this is where they first met. Damn. Okay, so Ivankov was there too as well. Looks like he was either born here on this island. He was also a slave as well, unfortunately. That's crazy. See what we got going on next week. Yep, there goes Garp. Yeah. We really about to get the Guy Valley incident. That's fucking crazy. All right, everybody. So for this week's discussion, I want to start off with discussing the absolute unit that is Saint Saturn, everybody, because this man is just a monster, right? So we only got to see a small glimpse, but we did get to see a few of Saint Saturn's powers and, just what he's capable of in general, right? So let's start off with this one, right? So first and foremost, the guy got regeneration powers, right? I can't remember the last time we actually seen somebody in One Piece with regeneration powers. I think, because I don't really count like Logias, because technically, if people don't have hockey, I guess, theoretically, like they regenerate from a hit, right? But technically, they can't even get hit by people without hockey. But yeah, I can't remember the last time we actually seen somebody with regeneration powers in One Piece. And I do know that Vegapunk did say that this power may be related to Devil Fruit. We know it wasn't this one. Actually, no, it was the other one, and I'll get to that later. But what I'm wondering is if this is one of his Devil Fruit powers, or if this is tied to immortality in any way. Because once again, I do believe that him and the five elders also, underwent the immortality method along with Imusama. So I'm wondering if this has anything related to that at all, or this is, related to his Devil Fruit powers, because we don't know what type of Zoan Devil Fruit user he is just yet. Some type of spider, right? But they haven't just, officially gave us a name, so who knows? This could be connected to his Devil Fruit powers. Moving on from there, the guy got laser eyes, right? What do we do this at? Huh? We're just doing a whole bunch of shit now in this arc, Oda, right? First it was magic circles. Now we got motherfuckers with laser eyes. What we doing here, Oda? What we doing here? But from looking at, at least how they depicted it in the animation, he might not necessarily have been shooting lasers out of his eyes. He may have potentially actually been shooting hockey out of his eyes, which is a crazy thing to think about. Like if this man was out here shooting hockey beams out his eyes, like that's crazy. Because one, that would be like the first, in the series, right? But two, that's just really expanded upon, what hockey can actually do, right? Because never in my mind would I have thought that you could shoot, hockey out of your eyes. We don't really know if that was the case. That's what he was doing, but that's just what it looked like a little bit, right? Because when he was hitting people with the beams, they didn't look like full, like, beams. It was almost like he shot like a ray of energy out of his eyes almost. I don't know, it was weird. But yeah, so that's definitely going to be interesting to see, what the hell he got going on with that, right? And speaking of hockey powers and things of that nature in general, right? We also saw him use another power where he was holding the crew down, like he was stopping them from moving, like he had immobilized the entire crew. Now, this is the point where Vegapunk was mentioning that this might be one of his Devil Fruit powers, and they could be the case, right? He's a spider Zoan, Devil Fruit user, so he could have a Devil Fruit power that prevents people from moving. I know that's not too far-fetched, right? But I'm wondering if this is another instance of seeing somebody immobilize another person using their hockey, right? The first instance we saw this was Shanks, right? When he actually tethered his hockey all the way down, when he was at Wano, all the way down from the base of Wano, from the waterfall all the way up to the top where they was at when they was fighting the Admiral, right? So that was the first time we seen it. So it looks, the way they showed it once again, because they didn't know, there wasn't like any webs or anything. It was almost like they was being held down by ore, right? So I'm wondering if this is just another instance of somebody using their hockey to immobilize another person. So that's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, this guy Saint Saturn, he's just a unit. He's just a straight unit. It's going to be interesting definitely to see how they take him down, right? Because I was about to say, I don't know if Luffy would be able to take this guy on by himself, but at the same time, I don't know if there's anybody else necessarily strong enough with him, right, to actually back him up, right, in this fight. Maybe Zoro, right? Zoro, actually, I'll throw Zoro in there, right? Because Zoro was able to actually, box against Kaido and trade blows with Kaidos and things of that nature. So yeah, maybe I say Zoro could help out with Saint Saturn as well. So we might see a Luffy and Zoro duo. We haven't seen that in a minute. Actually just them working together to take down a boss once again, I guess, besides Kaido, but that was a different situation, and now we got another different situation. Oh man, just S rank threats one after another, man. It's just crazy. Yeah, so yeah, that'll be interesting to see if Zoro will help out Luffy take down Kaido. Not take down Kaido. If Zoro will help out Luffy take down Saint Saturn here, because man, it's gonna be a fight. And hell, they might not even be able to take them down. Take him down, right? He just might be too strong for them. They might have to end up actually running away. Kind of similar to the situation where when they was on Whole Cake Island, right? So it might be another one of those situations where the crew has to actually end up running away from the threat. They're not strong enough to defeat them. But only time will tell. We'll have to see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. But moving on from there, everybody, Kuma's backstory is finally here. It's finally here. We sat here and watched this guy climb up the wall, the red line, for about 5 episodes, right? And now we finally get to start his backstory. As of right now, and it's crazy how it's starting off as well with what seems to be the execution of Bonnie, which I hope they don't go through with, which is crazy. Like, if we end up losing Bonnie, I might just lose it. If they really execute Bonnie like this, how they about to do. Like, that shit would be crazy. But I could probably see Kuma flying in to save her at the last minute, because as of right now, Kuma is flying to some unknown location. I assume he's heading here to Egghead, but if he is heading to Egghead, what would have tipped him off that there was trouble going down at Egghead? I guess besides like news and stuff, but he wasn't a candidate, right? He had just got saved by the Revolutionary Army, and then as soon as he got saved by them, he left them, right? So how would he have known to say, hey, yeah, I just need to go to Egghead, right? Unless maybe potentially he got like a sense that Bonnie was there on Egghead due to her, going inside his memories, like that pile of memories, that orange pile of memories that we saw that was being held on Egghead Island, right? Of Kuma's memories. So maybe once Bonnie entered Kuma's memories, maybe that triggered something in him, like, oh, I sense Bonnie, I know where she's at, something like that. That'd be interesting. But yeah, I'm just wondering if he is heading to Egghead, right? How the hell did he even know that he needed to head there in the first place? Right. So that's definitely going to be interesting. But nonetheless, our boy Kuma did not have a very good childhood, unfortunately. Just like a lot of people in One Piece, they did not have the bestest of childhood. He didn't start off as a slave, thankfully. His looked like his life was relatively normal for the most part until, unfortunately, the Navy ended up finding him and his family somehow. Still don't know how that happened, but unfortunately, the Navy pulled up, ended up finding him and his family, and it turns out, one, I was wrong. Kuma is not a Lunarian. I was wrong about that, but he is a Buccaneer, right? So, and it seems that Buccaneers are of kin to the Giants, because at the end of this episode, Ivankov was mentioning that I heard that you carry the blood of the Giants, so that's interesting as well. But now, before I go much further than that, now we have two races that we know of that have been gone extinct due to this war with the with the world government and all, the whole thing that was happening in the Voyage century, right? So maybe, just potentially, maybe the ancient kingdom was a kingdom comprised of multiple different races, right? So who knows? Maybe like the Lunarians, Buccaneers, and maybe a whole bunch of other races were all living together on this one nation, or the world government was just going around also known as the 20 kingdoms, was just going around messing up different kingdoms and stuff at that time, right? That would be crazy to even think about, right? Not only did they destroy the ancient kingdom, right, they also took out a whole bunch of other small little kingdoms and civilizations, things of nature. That's why not only the Lunarians are gone and the ancient kingdom is gone, and now we just not getting word that there's a whole nother race of people called the Buccaneers. Now we know that they're gone as well because of them. So there's no telling, but it's probably but I do have a strong belief, and I'm theorizing that just potentially the ancient kingdom, the ancient civilization that was destroyed by the world government was comprised of many different races and things of that nature. One, some being the two we know, right, the Lunarians and the Buccaneers. So that's just a thought right now, and a theory that I have going on out there. But continuing on here, yeah, man, just fuck the celestial dragons, because once again, he was born, he was free, he was chilling. Then the Navy came, they took him into captive. Not only that, they took these guys straight to the celestial dragons just to be slaves. Like, that's just so crazy. Like, no experimenting this time on these guys. No, straight to slavery, right? Just straight to slavery. Just don't make no sense. Once again, fuck the celestial dragons. all my homies hate celestial dragons, and it's even crazier that the fact that Kuma was part of the God Valley incident, right? Freaking crazy. And then you know what? Let's go there, right? The freaking God Valley incident. It's crazy that we're actually about to see the God Valley incident. That means we're about to see Prime Garp. We're about to see Prime Roger. And not only that, we should also actually see for the first time ever the Rocks Pirates. Not necessarily the Rocks Pirates, because technically we've seen some of them. We should see Rocks D Zebek for the first time ever in the show, right? We should actually get to see him now because this is crazy, because this is the event where they were taken out by Garp and Roger here, so we should also get to see them as well. And like, you know, that's gonna be crazy. Like this flashback right here should be one of the greatest. It should be one of the greatest in all of One Piece right here. Like this should be one of the all-time flashbacks that we're about to witness here. It's just crazy to think about, man. It's just crazy to think about. And then you know, let's start this here, right? So we do now know that the reason because we at first we didn't know why the hell the celestial dragons were even on the God Valley, right? But now we do know that they were there because these bastards were having a human hunt. Freaking crazy, right? They were out there hunting humans, and I guess eventually Roger probably found out about that, right? And decided to come free them. I guess, you know, my thing is, how does the Rocks Pirates come into all of this, right? Did they just pull up to come and try and defeat the celestial dragons because they saw, you know, they got wind that they were actually on this island? And if that was the case, that they were actually there to pull up to defeat the celestial dragons, then why would, you know, Roger actually try and stop them from defeating the celestial dragons? Well, even though we know the Rocks powers are bad, but you know, if they're taking out another bad group, why stop them from doing it, right? So it's just going to be interesting to see where the Rocks pirates fit into all of this. And you know, the reason why Roger actually decided to team up with Garp to actually help him stop the Rocks pirates and all that, you know, and defend the celestial dragons. Maybe, you know, Roger saw this as an opportunity to actually take down the Rocks pirates, because even though, yes, they may have been there for the celestial dragons, right, this is also an opportunity to take down one of your biggest rivals, right? So why not take it? So maybe that was the case. I don't know. It's definitely gonna be interesting to see, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Who knew that Kuma had this in his backstory, just chilling there waiting to be discovered? This man was a part of the God Valley incident. Oda, you mad, man. Oda, you mad, man. Like, Egghead has just been such a ride from beginning to end. I just can't believe all the twists and turns he's pulling out of this arc so far. It's crazy. It's been crazy. It's been crazy, man. And I've been loving it. But yeah, you know, can't wait for next week's episode where we get to see, looks like Roger's gonna be pulling up, you know, to the island. So maybe next episode we might get to see some Prime Roger action. Who knows? We might, knowing how One Piece does this, we might have to wait till 11:31 before we can even see any of, you know, Prime Roger in action. But from the previews, he is gonna be pulling up next episode at the very least. So definitely interested in that. I wonder how many episodes we're gonna be getting of this flashback. Right, probably at least, because when we did what's his name, Odin's shit, that was a hollow minute. So it doesn't necessarily have to be long as Odin's flashback was, but they give us a good bit of episodes. I'll be happy. You know, maybe like 3-5 episodes of the God Valley incident. I'll be good to go. I think that'll do it. 3-5 episodes. Oh man. But yep, that's everything that I had for this week, everybody. I will see you all next week for One Piece episode 1130, everybody. Peace out.